What's up, guys? Zalaki here. And today, Tech Tuesday, episode 6. I almost got that wrong. Today, I want to talk to you guys about cameras. I want to fill you in on what I've learned and what I've been using to shoot my videos. Not necessarily have I guess I can't really say I've learned everything about these cameras or everything about video or photo in general, but I am learning, and I figured I would fill you guys in on the camera lineup. You don't need these cameras to produce high quality content. If you have a smartphone or a GoPro, you already have something. If you technically have a smartphone, everybody's got a smartphone nowadays. If you have that, you have a camera. If you want your video to be a little better than just basic footage from a phone, that's when you upgrade. A lot of this isn't necessary, but because I was interested, I started off and I kind of grew into it, dabbled more. And so I started off with this camera right here. This is the Panasonic G7. This is their, I believe this came out in 2015. This is Panasonic's budget 4K camera. For YouTube or anybody that wants to get into YouTube or wants to record 4K video, but you don't want to spend $1,000, $2,000 to get high quality video, the Panasonic G7 will do fine for you. It goes on sale a lot for about $500 with the kit lens, and it's anything you could ask for a 4K capable camera. It shoots 4K, I believe, up to 30 FPS. There's a 30-minute record time, but you can also you can bypass that, so you can get unlimited recording just as much as the memory card you have in there. It has all the basic functions you would need. You want to do a time lapse, you want to zoom in, you want to punch out. With 4K, you get a higher quality image. So a lot of people are raving about it because it's the new big thing. No, do you need it? No, you don't need it. But if you do want it, this camera right here, it'll do it for you. That's what it's made for. It's a budget 4K camera. I started off with this camera. I got it on sale. I think I paid $500 and then I had a coupon or something, but it was on Amazon, so I got it for around $500 sale price. It's done good for me. I really like it. It's got the flippy screen right here on the side, so you can see yourself if you want to vlog. It's not really, the body itself is plastic. It's got a nice grip to it, so you can hold on to it well, but it is plastic. It's not really anything durable, so if you drop this a couple times, it might end up breaking on you. Flip screen's really nice though if you want to be a vlogger. I don't really recommend this version only because it doesn't have the image body stabilization, the in-body image stabilization. This has none of that. So if you're going to use a tripod and you're just going to set this down, sit in front of a camera like I'm doing now, this is the way to go. This is something I recommend if you're starting out with filming or you want to get into 4K video or you want to start YouTube videos. The Panasonic G7 is definitely the way to go. Next up, I have the Panasonic Lumix LX10. It's a point and shoot. Yeah, I know. Why would you buy a point and shoot? Who wants a point and shoot nowadays? You know what? It comes in handy. And it shoots 4K. The autofocus isn't great. If you want good autofocus, you want to look into the Sony RX100 Mark V. That has amazing autofocus, does 4K. It does limit you to a certain amount of time, like recording time, and it overheats. But that's going to give you spectacular 4K footage from a point and shoot. This right here, on the other hand, it's got the flip screen, so it's easy to see yourself. If you want to use this to vlog, put it on a little pole, little GoPro pole or something, and just record yourself. Hey, how's it going? You know, easy to vlog with, does 4K. It has in-body image stabilization, I believe at 1080p, 30 frames per second, maybe 60 frames per second. I didn't really use that feature much because I use this mainly for overhead shots. It's got all your features that are packed into the G7. You don't have a microphone port though, so that's kind of a bad thing. If you want to record serious audio, you want a microphone. The sound out of these isn't terrible. I've heard worse out of, I believe, Canon and Nikon. Both of those have really terrible audio, but those are meant for photos. They're not meant for video, so the audio is going to be just pure crap. The other reason why I picked this up is if I did want to take this out with me and go shooting, that it has slow motion mode. And this camera does, I believe it's 120 frames per second. So it comes in handy if you're out and about, you don't have one of these, but you want to get some slow motion shots, you can do it with this. And this camera right here, the LX10, has an aperture, the highest aperture? Highest, lowest of 1.4. So if you're using this outside, it's perfect for low light settings. If it's starting to get dark and you have a camera, but it only has, let's say, f2.8, f3.5, you're not going to get really good quality low light shots because you're in the dark and you can't really capture a lot of light. Being 1.4, you can use this in a lot of different situations. Especially if you're indoors, you're with family, it's not that bright, you're going to be able to capture a lot of light through this sensor in this lens that you're going to get some really, really high quality shots, even in low light settings. So this is definitely a good camera if you're more of a point and shoot person and you travel a lot, you want something light, just ready to go. 4K, pretty decent zoom, low aperture, 1.4, and slow-mo, and the flippy vlogging screen. Definitely a good camera to look into. Those two I actually need to sell to recoup some money for some of the newer stuff that I did buy. So I'm going to be getting rid of those and holding on to this one right here. This is the Panasonic G85. This is their newer model. I believe it's an upgrade from the G7. It goes to G7 to the G85. This one has a weather sealed body. If you get the kit, the kit lens that comes with this, that's also weather sealed, I believe. I could be wrong. I did not buy that. I bought the camera body by itself on eBay. And it's a really great camera. Everything about it just amazes me. It does 4K, 30 frames per second. Yes, not 60 frames per second, but it's really good. The weather sealing, the only bad thing about this camera is the mic input. It's over here on the side. And when you have the flippy screen out, it kind of gets in the way. So you can't really see yourself completely if you're trying to vlog with it. But this camera does have IBIS, in-body image stabilization, which if you're going to be vlogging or doing any kind of handheld video shots, you're going to want IBIS. A lot of lenses have it in them, but if you have it in the body, you don't have to worry about having it in the lens. You could attach lenses that don't have any kind of image stabilization, but because the body has it, you're okay still. You're still going to get decent shots. So that was the main plus of this camera, was it had the in-body stabilization and it was weather sealed. Other than that, there's not too many improvements. Well, the memory card is in an easier slot, easier access point to get to. Instead of getting it at the bottom, right here where the battery would go, like in the G7, I believe. Yeah, the G7 has it. Yeah, see? The G7, you get it right there. That's where the memory card is, battery and the memory card. So it's in a crappy spot, especially if you're mounting this one on a tripod. With this one, at least if you still have enough battery and you run out of memory, you just open the side, pop it in, and you're okay. You're good to go. Really good camera if you're looking for IBIS and you're looking for a weather sealed, something you can travel with, take into rough conditions. Remember, you still take care of your camera, but it's something that you could take with you in rough conditions. And the beauty that I'm shooting with now is the Panasonic GH5. I did not have the GH4. I know a lot of people did have the GH4 and they've been waiting and waiting for the GH5. I bought this because I slowly moved up to wanting more and something better. And the GH5 is the end-all be-all. It's what I wanted. It has everything I need. There's nothing else I will need in a camera besides what this has. This camera right here has 4K 60 FPS. It does slow motion at 180 frames per second. It has a microphone input. It has a headphone input, so you can check the audio in real time as you're recording. It has the articulating screen, so if you wanted to vlog with this, it has IBIS. There's so many features this camera has that just make it high quality. It's weatherproof. There's so many lenses you can adapt to this and use the in-body image stabilization. There's a lot of people on YouTube, filmmakers using this camera, especially because you can use the, was it 422 10-bit codec. I personally haven't used that or Vlog because I'm still learning editing. I'm going to get into that when I get the chance. I do have Vlog set aside already. I got it for free with the camera, so I'm going to look into that. But as of right now, I'm still getting into editing per se myself, so I don't want to jump into anything too crazy, end up getting pissed off and saying, screw it, and giving up. So I'm taking it one step at a time. But this camera has everything. It's amazing. The battery life, insane. If you're looking for a good camera with all the features, anything you could think of, the GH5 has it. Obviously, it's not a photo camera. None of these are. These are mainly cameras that are made for video. Yes, you could take really good photos, but that's not what they're meant for. If you want to take really good photos, if you want to be a photographer and take portrait shots or street shots, street art, you want something that's more full frame. You don't really want the micro four thirds sensor. Micro four thirds sensor, you will get good photos, but if you have a full frame camera with a higher megapixel size, you'll be able to capture higher quality images, way better images. I definitely recommend something like the A7 Mark II or the, I think the A7 Mark II. They are releasing an A7 Mark III in fall or winter. I'm not sure. They talked about the specs. I've seen it online. But even the Canon cameras, Canon 80D, you don't get 4K. You could still vlog with it. It's got amazing autofocus, and Canon has better picture quality. It's just what Canon's known for. They're made for photos. Nikon also is a really well-known photo camera. So if you want to do video, I definitely recommend the Panasonic lineup. A lot of people are in between Sony, Panasonic, which one's better. I definitely prefer Panasonic. It's a lot easier. You get the touch screen, so the controls are so much simpler. If you're a novice and you want to pick up photo or film, mainly film, this will be the way to go. Any of these options will be perfect for you. And if you have a budget and you don't want to go over that, but you want something, definitely look into the G7. This camera will do wonders for you. It'll get you started, and you won't go wrong with it. Oh, and just a little side note. This lens right here, the 25mm f1.7, is actually on sale right now at Amazon. I believe it's $149.99. It's normally $249.99. You might be able to find open box for cheaper through Amazon warehouse deals. That's a great lens to pick up if you do check out any of these cameras. Also, look at Adorama for used lenses. I don't recommend buying a used body. A lot of people have told me horror stories about buying used bodies, but Adorama has cheap lenses, sometimes glitched price lenses. I'm just saying, I might have gotten one or two. Definitely worth looking into if you want to buy more lenses or get more into film, but you don't want to break the bank on $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. This will be the perfect setup. Spend $400 or $500 on a GH5, not GH5, on a G7. GH5 costs $2,000. Just letting you know. It's definitely worth it if you have stuff to sell or you want to get something that's going to last you about 2 to 5 years. The GH5 will do that. The G7 is an older camera, but it's highly capable of whatever you throw at it. Definitely look into the G7 if you want a budget 4K camera, and then pick up some cheap lenses just to learn, just to shoot. I know I'm not experienced, but I just wanted to give you guys my input on the Panasonic lineup, what I think, what I enjoyed about them, and hopefully you guys learned something from this. Hopefully you're able to take it away, maybe go check out some cameras, and if you're interested, buy one. Like I said, you don't need this stuff, but if you have it, it adds more fun, adds more magic to the filming, you know? You could use your phone. You don't have to have one of these. So even if you have a phone that does 4K or that just records high quality video, start recording, have fun with it, you know? But if you do want something better, check these out. I'll leave a couple links down below to all these and a few lenses. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.